today's world of high-speed connection, text messaging, and social networking, we often find ourselves searching for information. There are millions of blogs on the internet. News, sports, politics, and tech. But I bring it all together for you and present it in a relentlessly unconventional fashion. My name is Zenny Abraham, and this is the Blog Report. It's time now for sports. Ladies and gentlemen, Leigh Steinberg, you were just on our radio show today.
Zenny, you're like a man for all seasons. You were out in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
And you're actually here in Newport Beach.
This is what Paul Solana for 8 years has been saying. You gotta come, and I'm finally here.
Is this your first time?
It's my first time.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's my first time.
Well, when I moved down from Northern California, they had me become the official designated agent of Irrelevant Week. So every year for the last roughly 25, I negotiate a fake contract.
Hey, let's see that.
This is Chandler Harnish and the Indianapolis Colts Football Club. Now, here's the thing. In our irrelevant world, because, you know, I've represented the first pick in the NFL draft 8 different years, and so he's a quarterback now. And in the old days, players didn't make it. In the first 13 years, 2 players made it. But that's when the draft was 17 rounds or 12 rounds. Now, with 7 rounds and a salary cap, teams need those lower round draft picks to make the team so that they can pay the big stars all the money. So in the last 13 years, 8 have made it. And so that's basically, so he's got a reasonable chance. Now, so anyway, let's look at the contract. Well, he's got salaries of $5 million, $6 million, $7 million, $8 million, and $9 million.
It looks good to me.
And but most importantly, you know, I did negotiate him a signing bonus.
Leigh, you know Julie, right? This is Julie, yes. We're on the
How are you doing, Leigh?
Yeah.
How are you? So, but most importantly, I negotiated him a signing bonus of $20 million. And here are some of the clauses: that the offensive snaps in training camp and practice session shall be split equally with Andrew Luck. The player is not required to practice on any day that ends in the letter Y. And if the player has not been designated a starter, then his salary shall be elevated to the level of the starter. The player should not be required to play in any scheduled away game with predicted temperatures being lower than 40 degrees. It's not played in a dome. So, and Zenny, I have to tell you, this contract is worth the paper it's printed on.
That's expensive paper, Leigh. In an internet world, actually, it's worth a lot of money.
But see, in our world, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. And I've had the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts a number of different times. So.
Hey, I want to see you come back. When is that going to happen when you come back to the league and you know?
My application is in for certification. I just got out of bankruptcy on Saturday, thank you, and we've just settled the lawsuit that was sort of an impediment to it. So we're moving along. We'll know within a couple weeks about the NFL, but I'm getting ready to relaunch. We're going to do a new business which aggregates talent in baseball, basketball, football, hockey, golf, tennis, mixed martial arts, and the rest, and then powers a big marketing arm, and then that will lead to a studio, not in the four-wall sense, but in the virtual sense that does sports-themed television
You were
movies.
talking about this like 6 years ago.
Well, this is
I
what
remember it was like, but I mean, things were so complicated, you really couldn't get to implement. I remember the conversation.
Back in 2000, I
yeah.
sold our company for $120 million to Asante to build this out, but they decided to go in another direction. So this will be.
And no one. The good thing though is that no one has done it since then.
Well, what you're trying to do is to sort of not just be involved with athletes, but with the content that spins out. So there are new mobile phone apps, internet apps. We can own these businesses, or we can consult with them.
Excellent, excellent.
Why do you think no one else has done that yet?
Well, they have. we did it, and then there are some other groups, 3 or 4 groups have done that, but it takes extraordinary administrative skill to make sure that these separate pieces all synergize.
Yeah, or just a fanatical brain like, you know, me. This is like, so, getting back to the head injury issue, you said something on our show, and folks, if you haven't, I'm going to hook the MP3 up this, because the segment, the whole show was great, but your segment was, what would you say?
I'd say it was phenomenal and eye-opening, too.
Yeah. But the commissioners, so I found an old reference to Buddy Ryan's Bountygate. So this is
against a kicker, though.
But this has been going on for a while. But and then Chris Carter said, "Hey, we were doing it back then with the Eagles." So, but that was when
it's one thing.
Was commissioner,
it's
right?
one thing for players to do a program among themselves. It's quite another matter to have this officially sanctioned by a coach.
Now, Leigh, I'm going to give you over to Julie because she wants to interview you as well. But I just want to say, my friend, it's great to see you. It's great to see you.
She didn't even know she wanted to interview me.
Well,
sometimes everyone thinks that the media is always in interview mode, and sometimes you don't have to be in interview mode. Sometimes you just want to have a conversation.
Exactly.
Let's hear what's going on in your world in general. I love this, though. I think it's hilarious.
Hey, Leigh. Thanks, man.
Zanny, I'll see you soon.
You got it.